Hello there, viewers. I'm the Knight of Arcane, and today we go back to finish the Amazing Digital Circus as Animatronics. Round 1 was pretty successful, and is currently one of my most viewed recent videos. Plus feels like one of my best videos of the year. I already knew I was going to finish off the characters we had, and if we get more characters in the future, like we've seen hinted with the doors, then we'll probably get a round free. Anyways, let's check out more Amazing Digital Circus animatronics, shall we? Thank you. Have a good night. Man, that was a long rush. Almost never thought to get my second drink. Yeah, you know how it is. Quiet for one moment, then the next, a rush. Been a while, but yeah. Okay, so let's continue. Right. Before that rush, you were wondering how we did Gangle? Yeah, since her body is ribbons that float in a vaguely human body shape. Correct. For her, we had to take creative liberties with the animatronics design, but we decided to start with the head first. We thought it would be the easiest part, but we had trouble with the eyes, mainly in figuring out their shape and how to make the different expressions that are just on her tragedy mask. We made 6 different head models for tragedy alone, and in the end, just gave them all the heads so they could change between them. And was there a similar number for Gangle's comedy mask? Yeah, just to be on the safe side, since she isn't shown in it for long. But we are preparing for the future of the series. But with the heads, we used 2 parts with the eyelids, hoping it would help the eyes make different expressions, showing a black void in the head, and used the nutcracker-like jaw technique we used on Pomni, though a few wires fell out in a head and could be seen, leading us to be asked to have wires be seen in all the mouths. You know, if this was another company, I think they would just have the face be some sort of screen or hologram, like with the singing busts on the Haunted Mansion ride. I hate what they did to those busts. They look so dumb and flat. You can make a good-looking animatronic head with the right tools and people, which they clearly should be able to hire. Instead, they try to use cheap tricks and calm myself. You got heated there. I'm passionate for the animatronics/robotics craft. But back on track, since we needed a body, I just made it as small as possible, with a bendable spine connecting the torso and hips, overall having a very puppet-like look with the body, and used some metal springs and getting them as thin as I could. I then bent and twisted them into different sized swirls around the body. Sounds like you could have used seatbelts again for the ribbons. Ironically, we did think about using seatbelts, unlike when it never crossed our minds when doing jacks. But we wouldn't get the same shine that the metal gives. Plus, for Gangle, felt would be a bit cheap to do that. Though getting the metal shapes right wasn't easy. While flexible, we still broke 9 twisted springs for the body alone, not including all the ones we did for the limbs. Wait, Gangle's arms and legs are just one strand of straight ribbon. True, but kind of wanted to do the arms to be a bit more unique than that. Hence, why the twisted metal spring parts. With it more flexible, we were able to use rods to extend the arms and legs out, partly to make the limbs stretch like the ribbons could, and to add a bit of a bounce when it moves. And for the hands and feet, made them as small as I could and a bit normal, but with only 2 fingers and toes like the ends of the ribbons. I'm impressed. So that just leaves Kinger and Zooble, right? Well, We were hired to make the Core 7, but we also had someone else made too. They wanted you to make abstracted Kaufmo, didn't they? Kaufmo, yes. Abstracted, not at the moment, though wouldn't be surprised if we'd have to figure that out at some point. Don't know how safe that would be. About as safe as any of our animatronics, which still isn't much. As a joke, I almost just hired an artist to just draw out what an animatronic Kaufmo would look like, print it life-size, and just have a cardboard cutout of it presented to them. That would have been funny. Not sure how well they would have liked that though. I'm referencing the pilot. Could have gone either way, but just had it made physically. Did get a cardboard cutout of our finished product done still to present with it too, so they can use it somewhere else in the amazing physical pizzeria. I got to see that at some point. Anyways, similar to Ragatha, used a hinged jaw for the head, but also had it in two parts. So when it talks, it moves like those plastic grabber heads that Zooble's arms kind of look like, which does show some of the inner workings as the thumb-like head opens back. Sounds pretty creepy already. Of course. Though to get it to work, it took about 5 designs and 3 models until we were happy with the results. Decided to make the hat have an almost squish and stretch effect, using rods to move the 3 parts up and down in an effect I'm quite proud of. Cool. With the body, a lot of the mechanisms around where the collarbone area is kept overheating, so when we made the frilly clown collar thing, had the metal be bent in a way that kept a good amount of it covered, but also allowed air in to help with the overheating issue. I'm impressed. My mind is picturing what you're describing as a pretty cool looking choice. It's okay, I guess. A lot of the general design with him is a bit normal with our designs. Obviously adding plates of different colors here and there to break up areas that feel to one color that end up looking good. Making some chunky teeth even though no proof he even has teeth. Having his outfit's puffy button things that clown outfits have be on some levers to move up and down, and making his eyes a bit more in the head's casing that looks interesting. And doing something a bit unique with the eyes. Go on. Kaufmo has just black eyes that you could do and make glossy with a white dot, but I decided to make each eye look a bit like the eyes abstracted beings have, referencing to how we mostly see Kaufmo like that in the pilot. Wow, that's actually pretty cool. Feels like it fits the piece really well. Yeah, I think it's really cool. That got me a small bonus I can say I'm actually proud to acquire. By the way, who's voicing the Kaufmo animatronic? You already mentioned everyone from the pilot is part of this, but Kaufmo had no voice actor in it. Though, there is a theory about who will voice him in any flashback episodes. Yeah, I know that theory, but right now it's a mystery even to us. Currently it just has random glitching screams programmed in it when it tries to talk, but who knows. Maybe Jack Black will voice the animatronic like the theories say he'll do in the show. Wouldn't be the first animatronic of mine he voices. Wait, what? Just a quick reminder, I have a Patreon set up. It's one of the best ways to help support the channel. As a patron, you get access to monthly art-related polls, early access to content, and monthly art rewards starting with character headshots. Plus, the more patrons we have, the closer we get to our Patreon video goals. So if you can, head over to our Patreon to become a patron today, starting at $3 a month. Every little bit helps. Anyways, now back to the animatronics. Anyways, let's talk about the Kinger animatronic. are you just going to go past the fact you said Jack Black already voices one of your animatronics? It can't be that hard to figure out who it most likely is he's voicing. Touche. You may continue. Thank you. Kinger is very simple in his design. A king piece in a robe with big eyes and floating hands. So we decided to make it into a bunch of parts to help the animatronic bend and stretch. With the head, we put rods and moving parts between each of the curves and ridges of the top of the piece, allowing it more movement to twist and nod while emoting. For the very top of the cross-like piece, I made it able to spin around, along with adding some holes in it as a reference to old wind-up toys and the keys they have. Neat. With the eyes, there are moments where Kinger does have eyelids, so we added some over his eyes, which can rotate in place to look in different directions. Though we also made extra eyes without eyelids that can be easily swapped with these eyes. Then they can all move up and down on the face. That sounds pretty smart, and easier than making full heads to do other emotions. It only really works with Kinger and Zooble since they have no mouths, plus eyes are simpler at times, so they're not that hard to change. Okay. Anyways, we did a sort of similar technique on the body like we did with the head, though just free parts that can make the body longer or shorter, though it can't line up cleanly due to making the fur collar parts a bit chunkier and extending past the main parts of the body. But it can still twist around a bit. I would think with however many models you made for Kinger, you would have fixed that. Actually, we only needed to do one model with how simple his design is. It does lean a bit, and sometimes glitches into a random dance if it's just standing around, but it looks good, though I won't be surprised if people complain about the arms and hands. What arms? Exactly. Kinger has no arms, but there isn't really a way to make the hands float that look good. Holograms? Not the right feel. Drones? Too loud. So made the arms out of just super thin rods and parts and attached them to the hands. It still looks good, but I can tell people will complain about that detail. As long as you didn't give him legs and feet, you should be fine. You gave him legs, didn't you? Nah, just wheels on the bottom. You can see them, but works with the aesthetic. That's good. Quick question. Did you do anything for the Gloinks or the Gloink Queen yet? Not really. We took some Roombas and redesigned the outer parts with softer materials to look like Gloinks and fixed their programming so they can't run into people as easily and not hurt them, but not much else. Wasn't even asked to do that. We were bored one day and just did it to have a small Roomba battle during a break. You think you could fix up a Roomba for here? Sounds like it would be perfect to clean up messes on the more rowdy nights. I can see. I'll give you a couple free drinks. Deal. Cool, now tell me about Zooble. You're really interested to hear about them, huh? I like them, even with how little we saw of them. I like their design gimmick and personality. You seem to have a type. I know what I like when I see it. Okay. Anyways, the main thing we knew going into this animatronic was that we needed to make sure the parts could be removed and swapped around, with the head at least still able to function when not connected to the body. Yeah, Some parts were already teased with the image on their door, so people would want to see every option that happens. Yeah, once more episodes come out and more parts are shown, we'll do more limbs for them, but back on track. The head was a bit hard to get the programming right, since it needed to work alone, but also sync with the rest of the body, which means more parts and batteries were put in the head. The head is big enough in the design to thankfully make it easier, but still went through 4 heads to get it right, needing 3 different parts to connect it to the body to emote and still work. Had some rods over the big eye to move the eyebrow up and down while emoting, along with getting the antenna parts to be able to move side to side in a similar technique we used with Kaufmo's buttons. Cool. The body was tricky, since it needed to be able to think with all the parts it could have, and took 6 tries to get right. We stuck mostly to their pilot design, but made the upper part of their right arm like the black and white striped arm they have on the door, though that can be swapped with an orange upper arm we also have. So, are the arms and legs also able to be mixed and matched around the elbow and knee areas? Correct. Though also did it with the hands and feet for the most part. While not sure if some would be able to do that, did it as a precaution and to add extra combinations to the animatronic. Anyways, the upper part of the claw arm had its own spring along a rod, with the claw part able to extend further for reach, while for the wiggly lined leg, put it over a different rod to help with that leg's movement, with the orange curvy foot having parts on some loose wire to spring around when moving. Doesn't sound too stable. True. We might have to fix it later, but right now it's able to hold the animatronic up with no problem. Is the O-looking thing on their chest able to be replaced too? The door made it look like there was a Z option to have there. We did. It's on a hinge that can be easily removed and replaced with other parts, though it does make me think of a toilet seat at times. Originally wanted to have both the bird-like wing and bat wing be on the animatronic, but then relooked and saw where the wings are usually placed, and that with the pilot, the left arm is in the top hole that I wanted to put the other wing in. Obviously they both can be used at the same time, but except for the one part with the upper arm, stuck to the pilot as much as I could. Cool. Do hope to see the Batwing in an episode. We'll probably see a lot of combinations with them, and probably be asked just to make up ones for the animatronic too. That'd be cool. Maybe something like a unicorn horn, or an arm that looks like a cat paw. Possibly. Though with how popular the pilot is, we'd be getting some strange digital circus-based places with unique themes. How so? Someone wanted ones where they look like they've been venomized. One superhero-themed place had some designs already they wanted us to try, and we were even asked to make animatronic dragons inspired by them. Those ideas sound cool, but a bit too much for animatronics. If we take them, my department won't touch them, partially since we're working with the official ones, and because I said I won't. Anyways, thanks for the conversation. It was nice. Anytime you feel like talking about your work or complaining, swing on by. Love to hear more. Thank you, Liz. Keep the change. Thank you, and have a good night. I wonder if I can get him to make me my own Zooble animatronic, though I doubt I can afford it even if he can. And that finishes up the Amazing Digital Circus as animatronics for the moment. They were still fun to do. I like Zooble the most out of these 4, And at some point, we'll do a piece with all our animatronics in one scene. But what did you think of them? Let me know in the comments, along with other things I should try with the Amazing Digital Circus, and other series I should turn into animatronics. If you haven't already, check out round 1 of Digital Circus Animatronics. Along with the first animatronics video with Mario characters. And if you want some more unique videos, we have Pokemon as mermaids and FNAF animatronics as stands. And if you liked what you saw, leave a like and subscribe to join our growing little Arcane town to be in the know for future videos and projects. I want to see if we can reach 800 subs by my birthday on January 8th, so let's try to reach that by then. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Later!